Thank you very much for having me, and welcome everyone. My name is Samira Alexander. I'm a rapid transformational therapist and professional kinesiologist and executive coach. And I work with clients to help them overcome anxiety, feeling stuck or stress, or even sickness, and help them overcome that without months and months of therapy sessions or medication. I'm passionate about people, and I want to help them overcome any issues very, very quickly, because after all, life is too short. So one of the things that in terms of the themes today is obviously returning back to normal life. And it's really important to become resilient, as to be a resilient leader in our life. And so I'll be presenting you on how to become a resilient leader in the face of adversity, or no matter what you're facing. So if I could just share my screen and my slides. So, okay, so here is, I believe it's an opportunity, a time to rise. So the last 6 months, if we just recap, have been a situation where obviously we've seen a lot of change, and it came out of the blue as unexpectedly. And so it's really important that we know how to become resilient to no matter what, and be empowered and to lead no matter what. So that is, again, as I said, recapping, that's what I'm going to talk about, and I'll show you tools and ways to actually do that. So who am I? As I said, I'm a rapid transformational therapist, a professional kinesiologist. My background is, for about 22 years, I was working in the corporate world, and very high pressured. But my passion has always been to make a difference and work with people, mindsets and transformations in that way. And so I transitioned, and over the last 5 years, I've been working with people to do that successfully. So that's my passion, both here and internationally as well. So why should you listen to me? So I, as I said, specialize in helping people overcome anxiety to empowerment. I'm all about empowerment. It's about feeling strong within yourself, no matter what you're going through, no matter what challenges, whether it's personal, whether it's professional. It's very, very important that we all have our own strength within ourselves and be empowered to be able to do that, and not having to rely on anyone else to feel empowered or to be beholden to anyone else. We need, and we do always have, strength within ourselves. My own experiences, as we're going through some challenges this year, everyone's been going through challenges one way or another. I only know that too well because I went through experiences, you know, when there was been shocks to the system, into the economy and to environments. When I lost my father 20 years ago during a recession, we had a family business where we lost things and was made redundant twice as well. So even the worst things, some of those things, even if those are professionally or financially, again, personally as well, have overcome things where it has made me stronger. Of course, those times they were very difficult, but equally have made me stronger. And there's ways of managing some of these things. And this is why even some of these things that I've just highlighted here is where you need to learn to be resilient, so you can actually overcome that and really move forward and go and achieve what you need to, from a place of deep peace, deep tranquility, deep stillness, and be empowered completely to achieve that. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about, you know, if we recap what happened in the last 6 months, the first 2 months of the year were great, and we were excited about this year, that we all felt that there was going to be a massive transformation, but the transformation has been very different. My previous job as a global macroeconomist, I used to forecast booms and recessions and all sorts of economic volatility. And I used to do it on a global scale. But never in my life would I have been able to predict what happened in the last 4 months. And it's unprecedented. We all know that's unprecedented. It's happened on a global scale. Anyone I've spoken to all over the world, from Eastern Europe to the US to Asia to India or Pakistan, everyone, and Europe, everyone has gone through a transition, a transformation because of the pandemic. And you know, it's probably a way that we've had to learn to slow down. It may not have been something that we expected and wanted, but it wasn't an opportunity to look in a different way, to really reflect, to take time to slow down, and to see things differently. But now things are changing, and obviously we are moving slowly. Things are opening up, and it's now an opportunity to move more to normality. And how do we return it to normality? But I think same things apply. As I said, in the last 4 months, you know, it has been scary for many. It's been because it was so new and so fresh. It was scary. It's caused a lot of anxiety. It caused a lot of fear of the unknown. In terms of the virus, in terms of how we deal with it, whether we stay at home or how we deal with staying at home, how we manage making sure that we stay healthy, how we're unfortunately been able to not be able to be with our friends or family, certain members. We had to be within our immediate family, and everything was very different and very new and very, well, it was unprecedented. So we didn't know how to react to it. So it did cause a lot of stress. It did cause a lot of uncertainty in our life. However, it's been 4 months now. We're slowly getting used to it. We're used to wearing the masks. We're used to making sure that we're washing our hands, wearing gloves when we go out, masks and gloves. And things is slowly being part of our everyday. I mean, it's to the point where you can, you can purchase really nice fancy masks on Amazon or some places, and lots of people have really nice trendy masks now that they wear that match their outfits. I mean, that's how adaptable we are, and how much we've adopted this whole thing on a day-to-day basis. And that level of shock initially is slowly waning because we're actually getting used to it now. We're understanding it now. So if things are now that slowly opening up, slowly things are going back to normal, yes, there's a different level of normality, but there is a normality happening. And of course, there have been changes, there have been transformations, there have been challenges, whether in your company, in your personal life, when it means that, you know, in terms of jobs being cut or salaries being cut, and the fact that, you know, we may have experienced some of that, or maybe we are okay, but other people that we know are experiencing that. So the challenges are there, but how do we handle that? Again, and whether you've heard this from some of my other colleagues who've been presenting or not, I would like to reiterate that we all have a choice on how we deal with the situation right now. We have a choice, and it's very, very important that we know how to react to what's happening to us, because we can't dictate, as we are aware, of what things are happening. We could not control coronavirus at all. It happened, but we can actually control or manage how we can deal with the situation. And of course, in the last 4 months, you know, the level of uncertainty created a lot of anxiety, and everyone has different coping mechanisms. Some people wanted to watch Netflix or some TV programs. Other people preferred to eat or do both, or not do anything. And others wanted to constantly just watch the news. But whatever that is, now the fact is we're much more aware of what's happening. We have seen other countries opening up as well. Things have more stabilized. In fact, you know, we've probably been voted the country where we've been the most successful in managing the whole coronavirus. And, you know, people in the US have named the UAE as well as that. So, you know, we're in the best place possible for having gone through this situation. But we can still manage ourselves. And what I'm hearing still is that now that slowly things are opening up, there's still a level of fear and anxiety about you know, moving forward and getting back to everyday life. And I feel that now, given that we are much more aware of what this is, aware that basically how we can manage it, how we can take care of ourselves, it is part of our everyday now. We have a choice on how to deal with it. We have a choice to still live in the anxiety and the fear, which makes our bodies weak anyway, or we choose to come from a place of inner peace and calmness and refocus. And that's very, very important, because we still have a good 5 months to go till the end of the year. So in the next 5 months, we can actually achieve so much more that we may not have done in the last 3 or 4 months because things have slowed down, but we can actually still achieve some of our goals till the end of the year. And in fact, that will help us to refocus, to get back on track to achieve what we want to, what we had planned for the year, that we can actually do that. And in fact, that's quite healthy for us to do, rather than thinking about the pandemic or having that level of anxiety and fear, because we now know and more comfortable or necessarily aware of this and what we need to do. And so it's much easier right now to be able to slightly move back into that normality. The only difference now we have is that, you know, we are wearing masks and we're wearing gloves when we're going out. You know, I go to the gym every morning or every other morning, and now it's the norm to be wearing your mask at the gym. And many of the people in the gym are doing the same thing. So, and or whether you're in a taxi or any outside. But other than that, we can still go out. We can go to the mall. We can go to work now. There's obviously regulations of what you have to do and what you can do when you're into the office. When you go to visit a clinic or doctor surgery or whatever, there are those protocols are set in place. So we can slowly now go move into that normality. And it's very, very important to now really step into that and make that choice of how do I want to live the next 5 months of 2020. Yes, we've had this massive big shock, and then we've had to deal with it, and it was unprecedented. But now, as I said, it's much more normal. We're understanding it better, and now it's time to start moving forward. So I cannot stress enough that you have the choice. While mind goes through all sorts of thoughts, we have about 80,000 thoughts going through our mind every single day, and 40,000 of on repeat. So, you know, and if those 40,000 thoughts are not serving us, then obviously we're constantly in negativity and anxiety. That's obviously not going to help us, and it makes our bodies weak. And this is a time that we can choose and be empowered to decide, no, I don't want to think like that. I choose not to come from a place of anxiety. I choose not to come from a place of fear. I choose to come from a place of strength, of empowerment, knowing that I can overcome anything. I am resilient, and I'm going to be focused, and I can achieve what I want to in 2020 for the remaining of the year. So it's a choice. So what I ask you to do is to actually make an intentional choice of what you want to do for the next 5 months, because that's important. And you know, the importance of being calm, I cannot stress enough, is because when you come from a place of calm, you're able to think more clearly. You're able to come up with solutions to any problems you may be going through, or any challenges you may be going through. And at the same time, it's actually going to boost your immune system, because if we're coming from a place of anxiety and fear, we're in the sympathetic nervous system. When we're constantly thinking that we're waiting to run away from a saber-toothed tiger or a lion or something. But we need to move into the parasympathetic nervous system, where our body is allowed to heal and to feel balanced. And then from that place, we can focus. So we need to make sure, and I will be showing you tools on how to do that, to make sure that we're always remaining in the parasympathetic nervous system on a day-to-day basis as much as possible. Sure, you may shift into the sympathetic nervous system where you feel the adrenaline rushing and you're feeling slightly anxious, but learning to actually move forward and be aware of that, moving into the parasympathetic nervous system, coming from a place of peace, coming from a place of calmness where you can think clearly, coming from a place of empowerment, and know that you can overcome whatever challenge you're dealing with. So as I said, and as it was before, it's about taking time again to take in a reflection, as it was during the coronavirus. And now it's about opening up and moving into normality. But it's important to still reflect and think, okay, where am I right now? Where am I? What am I feeling right now? How can I change this? And if it means that you have to do it minute by minute, do it by minute, be aware of your thoughts. Think how you can think more differently. How can you change your thinking if you're constantly feeling anxious? So it's a time for inner reflection. What is making me anxious? What is making me stressed? How can I change that? Write it down and think about it. Try to be aware of your thoughts and see, how can I change that thought right now? So it is a time of inner reflection. And it's able to change that thought as and when you go through that. Taking stock of where you are right now, as I said, and with or without the coronavirus. So the coronavirus has happened, but how would you want to live your life without it? And even with it, if it's here, how you can make sure you still go and achieve your goals, achieve what you want to achieve for 2020, no matter what, because there's lots of things you still can do irrespective of whether this has happened. And this gives you the opportunity to refocus your mind and to really go for that. It energizes you, it re-energizes you, and it puts you in a state of balance and focus to deal with the day-to-day and move away from the whole situation of the pandemic, but now actually moving into an everyday life of what you want to achieve for the rest of the year. And as I said, it's about tackling these things. Any challenges you're facing right now, is how you're going to tackle that now differently. Okay, you have a challenge that you never expected that's going to happen to you right now. But how am I going to deal with that right now? What do I need to do in order to change this this way of thinking, this challenge? What do I need to do to make sure that I can overcome this challenge or think differently about it, so I can manage myself and come from a place of still inner peace and calmness? And this is a time, this is why I say that it's a place coming from a place of strength. It's coming from a place of courage and resilience. And so, as I said, this is a time to rise, to say that enough's enough. It's time for me to really now focus. We've gone through what we've gone through. Now things are opening up. Now there's expectations. Now I obviously have to deliver, maybe when it's work or with family or whatever you have to deal with. But now it's time to really focus and start moving forward and have let go of that level of anxiety or fear. And I'll show you how you can do that as well. Okay. So as I said, it's time to rise and choose a new way of thinking, a new mindset, and show up, because you still have another 5 months of this year and you can make it spectacular. And so what is a resilient, empowered leader? What is becoming an empowered leader? What does it mean? So for my definition, it means that a resilient, empowered leader is a person who sees failures as temporary setbacks and can recover very quickly. They maintain a positive attitude and a strong sense of opportunity during periods of turbulence. And when faced with ambiguity, a resilient, empowered leader finds ways to move forward and avoids getting stuck. So when we're talking about overcoming periods of turbulence, you know, we could say the last 3 or 4 months was a period of turbulence, but we're now taking the opportunity to rise up and say, okay, what do I need to do now? How can I remain positive? How can I remain strong and resilient to overcome this and just keep moving forward? And it's that I really would want to make sure that you can take away from this today, to feel like that, to feel really empowered, to feel strong, saying that I can overcome anything. This has been a setback. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it's happened. But I'm a resilient, empowered leader. I am a leader of my life. I'm a leader in my family. I'm a leader at work. And I refuse to be succumbed to the anxiety and fear now. I've allowed it to take over me, but I refuse to let it take over me now. It's time for me to be empowered, take my power back and be strong within this, to feel resilient, to bounce back from this and to be able to step forward. So for me, there's 6 steps of becoming a resilient, empowered leader for your life. And these are steps that, you know, we have billionaires doing, millionaires doing, everyone's doing these, who are extremely successful people. Some of these methods that they do, you know, highly successful people do and will not stop doing. Those are the first few things they do every morning before they do anything else in their life. And if you follow the things I just show you now, you will feel so strong, you'll feel so empowered that you will be able to deal with any challenges that are coming along your way. You'll be able to focus on what you want to achieve over the next 5 to 6 months and really achieve those goals. As I said, we have at least 5 months to go and we still have a lot of time to be able to achieve what we want to. So I implore you to really make that effort to be able to move forward and do that, and coming from a place of deep peace and tranquility. So let's go. So it's very, very important that we always have a morning routine. Now, some of these things could be obviously when we were in the period when we were in lockdown, that, you know, you may have been having Zoom meetings if you were continuing to do working, or, you know, you were taking care of the family and the children and making sure they were being homeschooled. What was so important was having a routine. And it's to make sure you're making your bed, you're exercising, showering, you're getting dressed, ready to work. And even if you're on a Zoom call, to make sure you're making the effort, because it was like a feeling of, you know, you're at work, and it keeps a routine. Now, moving back into normality is maybe you're able to go back to work 3 days a week, 4 days a week, or 2 days a week. Or maybe you are able to go back to work 5 days a week. It's also about having to deal with the challenges, because not only are you managing yourself, you're managing yourself from the energy of the environment right now, where some people may not be feeling as resilient or strong, and how you're having to manage yourself. So what's really, really important is to make sure, and I cannot stress this enough, is to make sure that you're still having a morning routine. And as I mentioned to you, I mean, exercising is key, fundamental. Having movement in your body every single morning will make you strong. It will, whether it's yoga, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's going for a run, whatever it is, have some level of exercise every single morning, even if it's for 20 minutes, for 25 minutes, even if it's a walk. You need to go out in the sun. You need to have the sun hit the body, the light, so the body wakes up. And the exercise is going to let go of any anxiety internally. It's also going to make you strong. You feel resilient. You feel as if you can accomplish anything. So exercise is fundamental. Every morning, fasted, without having any other food, to go and do some exercise, even if it's for 20 minutes. If you can start off with even 5 minutes a day and build it up to 10 minutes a day, and the following day 15 minutes a day, before you know it, you're doing 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and you feel so good by doing that. That level of feeling sustains you throughout the whole day, makes you feel much more resilient, makes you stronger. You have all the endorphins kicking in. So exercise is key, and especially right now, and even when you're moving back into the normality and going into everyday life, and the exercise is cool and important to do. It's going to boost your immune system. If there's any fear that you may have about, getting the virus and things, the immune system is going to remain strong as well. It's going to keep you resilient. There's a question. I'll just double check. There's a question. I'll come back to the question. So next thing is exercise is important. Exercise is important. And the next thing is, I cannot stress enough, green smoothies, not fruit smoothies, but green smoothies. Health is wealth. And as you know, given what we're going through right now, health is wealth. So it's really important that we basically have good nourishment in our bodies right now. It's, I'm sure we've all done this. We've had pizzas, we've had burgers, we've had Deliveroo. One of the things that probably one business that's been very successful in the last 3 to 4 months has been Deliveroo or Talabat or Zomato. And we've had a lot of comfort eating happening, and that's understandable. It happens. However, we really need to remain strong. We need to be vibrant. We need to be resilient. And one of the key other things that I would strongly suggest you to do is at least have one green juice a day, one green juice or one smoothie. And if you can't make it yourself, then order something in, but have that. That's going to nourish your cells. That's going to nourish your body. That's going to make you feel good. It's going to give you a feeling of happiness. It has live enzymes. It helps all the cells feel alive and vibrant. And even if you have 2 smoothies a day or juices a day, I can challenge you, you won't be able to feel depressed. You won't get anxious. That's for sure. So it's very important to be able to have this. And so exercise, make sure that you're exercising in the morning, like 20 minutes minimum, and moving up to 30 minutes and having a green smoothie. Okay, so let me just share that stuff. There's some questions I think I'm getting. So how important for resilience having a network of support around me? Okay, so one of the questions is about how important for having that network. Yes. Okay, how can I remain focused on the big picture and remaining positive while things are getting tough around me? Exactly. So how you remain focused on the big picture? Exactly that. You need to focus on your big picture, knowing that you are strong. You can control anything you want to. You are empowered, and you need to be laser focused. So have an image. Like for me, I have a goal that I want to achieve, a fitness goal by the end of this year. And so I'm going to the gym. I'm, recording some of those videos of me doing the weight training and things to see, how my body's getting stronger. And that's my mindset, to focus on a goal that I have. I would suggest that you have a goal, whether it's a fitness goal, whether it's a work goal or a personal goal, or a health goal that you completely are laser focused on, and that is that you work towards and have that. And you know, even though things are tough around you, the more you remain resilient and the more you do your daily practices that I'm going to show you, the more you are going to be in that space, and you'll be able to empower everyone around you and help them and lift them up as well. The more you do it yourself, the more your energy is that positive, the more you'll be able to help other people and lift them up, because we're all brothers and sisters. We need to be lifting everyone up as much as possible. Okay, and it helps us remain that we're resilient as well. Time management is important, as everyone says, especially when returning. Could please throw some light on that? Yes, time management. And where do you have the problem with time management? I mean, you know, if we're sleeping 7 hours, only 7 to 8 hours a night, we have 16 hours of a day that we are awake. So it's a matter of, you know, taking that time to plan in your exercise, your eating regime, to be there with your family, to do your work. It's very, very important. And some businesses right now, I mean, I know I have clients who are working extremely hard, sometimes until 3 a.m. because of the work that they do. No matter how many hours you're working, it's so important to do some of the practices I'm going to show you. And it's so important that you have to do some level of exercise. You need to be having those green juices. You need to be nourishing your body. This is a time that you have to be like at a high performance level, like an athlete, in whatever role you have in your life right now. So that's why it's important to really have that mindset and schedule these little things in. Even if you're working very long hours, you know, schedule in 10 minutes of a breathing technique, schedule it in like 20 minutes for your lunch, or having a smoothie and meditation, what I'll show you. Are there specific steps or checklists that I can follow to evaluate whether I'm a resilient individual or not? Yes, if you follow the 6 steps that I have. So if you do the exercise every morning, if you do the green juices, these are the first 2 you need to do. Okay, and I'm going to show you the others now. Okay, so I'll go back and share my screen again, and I'll come back to more questions shortly. Okay, so exercise and green smoothies. What's next? Okay, breath work. Now, breathing is very, very important. I cannot stress enough how we breathe. Breathing, we need oxygen in our bodies. We need as much oxygen as possible. The more we have oxygen on our bodies, our brain functions better as well. And the more oxygen we have, we move away from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system. When we are stressed, when we're anxious, we are breathing from our chest and we're hyperventilating. We may not know it, but we are. So we end up doing this. And we're doing it from our chest. And when we do that, we end up doing shallow breathing. And we have shallow breathing, it actually creates more anxiety in ourselves. It creates more uncertainty within ourselves. And I have every single client who's come to see me has come to from a place of they don't know how to breathe correctly. No one's been taught really how to breathe correctly unless you've started doing yoga, exercise, or gone to a specific breathing class to know how to do that. And it's so, so important. So this thing, number 3, is fundamental. So what I would love you to do is actually learn to breathe from your belly. So as you breathe, you learn to breathe, and you breathe in, and you breathe into your belly as if it's a pregnant belly, and you breathe out. You breathe in again, breathe in, and you feel all that air into your body, all the way into your belly, and you hold it, and you can just release it. And if you do that, that is actually going to calm you down. So if you can take a moment to breathe. So obviously this screen doesn't see me full, but if you can imagine that you be aware that you're not going to breathe into your chest, and your chest may rise, but you're going to put all the air into your belly. And so you breathe in, and put in all the air until your belly is pregnant, like a big round ball in your belly. Hold it, and then just to release. And I suggest you do that again. So breathe in, hold, and release. Breathe in again, and release. Just doing that, we've done that 3 times, you feel a deep level of calmness, a deep level of stillness within yourself. And I will share links here as well, where you can do a specific breathing technique, which is called the Wim Hof method, which is very powerful. It's very strong, but it's very powerful. But even if you just learn to just practice breathing from into your belly, holding and releasing, doing that for 10 minutes is extremely powerful. So the exercise, the green juice, and now the breathing technique, making sure you're doing deep belly breaths, and so learning to relax so you can bring down your nervous system, you can bring down your anxiety, move into the parasympathetic nervous system is very, very important. So practice that. Please message me if you need any support and help with that. I can try and create a video, or I can send something on YouTube or something. Let me just check, there's got some questions here. Let me stop sharing and just answer some of these questions if I can. Here. So some of the questions, greetings from South Africa. We are on level 3 lockdown. How would it be possible to maintain your immune system if one is unable to go to the gym, buy green veggies, long in the queue in the arm? Okay, you know what? One of the ways you can actually really remain boosting your immune system is through breath work. And highly I would suggest is the Wim Hof method. He is an amazing man. He has a breathing technique that goes really deep. And you can download the app. It's for free. The app is for free. And he has a 10-minute video on YouTube and shows you how to do the deep breathing technique. Extremely powerful. It will balance your immune system. Your immune system will be so balanced. So, you know, even if you can't get the green veggies, I mean, it'd be great to have it, but even if you can't get that, and if you're on lockdown, you need to boost your immune system. You need to be visualizing health and well-being. You need to be visualizing yourself healthy and well. And I'll show you the meditation as well that you'll be doing, but do the breathing technique. The Wim Hof breathing technique is extremely powerful, or some of the things that I've just shown you in terms of breathing technique. Okay. So, and then what is the physical effect of breathing exercise on my body, and how is that relevant to my mental health and anxiety? Well, the breathing technique is because we move into the parasympathetic nervous system. We're moving away from the sympathetic nervous system where we're waiting, where the adrenaline is rushing, or waiting to be to run away from a tiger, or a saber-toothed tiger, or a dinosaur, whatever it is that we're used to having, we're programmed to. And we're moving into that parasympathetic nervous system where the body is allowed to calm down, and every little cell has a little action, and the little cells are then able to go off and do their business and do their little jobs. When we're in the sympathetic nervous system, all actions go. It's like all the cells are right there, ready to pounce, getting everything ready, the whole body ready to run away from this tiger. But the thing is that we don't run away from tigers anymore. We're dealing with pandemics, or we're dealing with, deadlines, or dealing with stressful other situations. And so our body ends up being in this state of anxiety and stress 24/7, but we don't need to be in that. We need to move away from that, because it means that the body is ready just to wait to be pounced on and is ready to run. But we can't be doing that for 24/7, running away, waiting to run from anything. So we have to move away from that, move into the parasympathetic nervous system. And the breath work is going to help you do that. So the more you do the breath work, the more you're going to calm down, the more you're going to have inner peace. Your anxiety level is going to calm down. Your mental health you're able to control your thoughts. One thing everyone needs to understand is that we are the master of our mind. The mind is not our master. It just comes out with lots of thoughts. As I said, 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and 40,000 of them on repeat, as I said. But it's really important to know that you are the master of your mind. So just because a thought comes into our mind doesn't mean that we have to react to that thought. We are the master, and we have to learn to control those thoughts. The brain doesn't know whether it's a good thought or a bad thought. It's just a thought. It doesn't know any different. So the thing is that we have to be aware and know this, and this is very important to know, that we are the master of our mind. We can control our thoughts. So one way to do that, again, is to do the exercise. It is to have the green juices, but the breath work particularly is extremely important, because the breath work is going to help us control our inner self, calm us down, bring that level of anxiety down in our chest, in our gut, in our stomach, wherever you hold anxiety or stress. So breathing technique is going to calm you down, so you feel much more relaxed, you feel much more at peace. And then you can actually think much more clearly. And all those little cells can go back and go about their job and do what they have to do to heal the body. That's their job, to make sure that we're always balanced and always healed. But we can only do that when we're in the parasympathetic nervous system, not in the sympathetic nervous system. Now, that's why we have to move away from anxiety and fear and come from a place of inner peace and calm no matter what. No matter what. Okay? So let's continue. Let's continue with my sharing my screen. So as I said, breath work. Okay? Next is the power of meditation. So as I said, we believe that our mind is going through 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, 40,000 on repeat. But if we actually learn to still our mind, to be at peace, to quiet the mind down, we are in control. We can control any thought that comes in and decide whether we want to listen to that thought or react to it, or actually negate it. It's very, very important. This is one of the super skills. This is one of the super skills that the billionaires and all super successful people have on the planet. This is the one thing that they all do. It's extremely powerful, and I cannot stress enough how powerful this is. Every single client has come to see me in the past has always said to me, oh, I can't do meditation. It doesn't work for me. That's exactly why they have to do it, because their mind is overthinking. They have monkey brain. There's just too many thinking going on and on and on. We have to learn to control the mind down. We have to do that. We have to know, and you have to know this, that we are the master of our mind and we control it. We have the power within ourselves to control the mind, not the mind controlling us. We have the power to control the mind. Okay? And so there's lots of meditations out there. There's a plethora of meditations out there that you can use. But the key one, the most simplest one that you can do, you don't even have to have an app. You need to just sit down in a quiet spot and just close your eyes. Close your eyes and just think of a white space. That's all you have to do. You close your eyes and just think of a white space. Now, of course, you're going to have lots of thoughts coming through your mind. You sometimes feel the brain pumping blood as well as you learn to become still. And in the beginning, it's very difficult. When you close your eyes and your mind, and you try and think of a white space, all these thoughts are coming through your mind, and you don't know how to. They're rushing through. But the whole idea is to close your mind, close your eyes. Think of a white space, allow these thoughts to come in and learn not to react to them. So for instance, you may be having thought, oh, I have to go and pick up the kids, or I have to do, okay, thank you for that thought. Oh, I have to go and do the laundry. Okay, thank you for that thought. What you have to do is any thought that comes in, you say, okay, thank you for that thought, goodbye. Okay, thank you for that thought, goodbye. The more you do that, this is called the witnessing principle. It's from yoga. And it's important that we do that, because we learn to not be our thoughts, but we actually step away from our thoughts so we can see what the thoughts are coming in. We don't become part of the drama. We don't become part of that whole stress of anxiety of it all. We're stepping away from it, observing the thoughts coming in, seeing those for they are, and allow them to go, so that we are learning to remain calm and relaxed no matter what. The whole idea is to make sure that you always have inner peace in your chest, in here, always, no matter what. And the more you do this practice of meditation, the more you do the breathing technique, supplemented by the exercise and the green juices, the more you feel more empowered, the more you're going to feel still and empowered and strong. Okay, so I cannot stress enough that if there's anything that you need to do, if there's one thing that you do, then do the meditation. If you can't do the meditation first, do the breathing technique first, and then build to do the meditation. These two things are so powerful, and they will always make you resilient and strong. These are super powers. These are for high performance. If you want to be a high performer, do this, because this is the future. This is how you learn to control your mind, how you can go for the goals you want to go and achieve. And it helps you to remain still and makes you resilient. So you feel strong. So you're actually able to think about the thoughts, able to handle that, and thinking, okay, I have a challenge in front of me, but I have a clear mind and I'm going to come up with a solution. So the power of meditation and breathing is extremely powerful. The third thing, let me just double check some questions here again. So if you don't mind, I'll just double check those questions. With children going back to school, so how can we rest from the pressure of work? Okay, so this is it. Again, and sounds boring, but we are pressure at the moment. There is a lot of pressure at work. And especially when there's less people doing the work as well, we are having more pressure on us as well. So this is what I really strongly tell you, is that please, please, please practice this breathing technique. Practice the meditation. You'll feel much more powerful, feel much more strong. The pressure at work is going to, you're able to handle that better because you're coming from a place of deep peace and calmness. You won't see it as a challenge. You'll be able to do it. You'll be able to sustain it. You'll have more energy, especially when you're exercising and having green juice. That's why you have to be a high performer. You have to see yourself as an athlete in the corporate world now. You have to see yourself like that. You have to see yourself as an athlete at home as well. If you're a mom who's at home taking care of the kids, you have to see yourself as strong. So you're using these tools for high performance in your life, to be that resilient, empowered leader, to be strong, empowered, to achieve and overcome anything. And so that is, so I strongly suggest that you will do that. Okay, so if I'm constantly failing, how can I use that to increase my resilience? So there's no such word as failing, okay? It's learning. What do you need to learn from whatever you're going through, and turn it around? What can you do next to change that? What is it that you need, and how can you change that? So don't call it failing, call it learning. What is the learning you have to do? How can you do it? And tap into that yourself, tap into your intuition. What can I do? And if you don't know if you can do it yourself, then ask somebody to help you, to guide you with that. But tap into that, call it a learning as well. Do I need to step out of my comfort zone to become a resilient leader of my life? Absolutely. Why would you want to stay in your comfort zone? The comfort zone is there just to protect you. But the thing is that sometimes we have to keep growing out of that comfort zone, and it can be a bit scary. But you know, the pandemic was out of our comfort zone. A new job, or going out every day, everything is going to be out of our comfort zone. We need to learn to be okay with being out of our comfort zone, because the growth is when we're out of our comfort zone. You stay in your comfort zone, you're not going to grow, you're not going to develop. So it's really important to do that. And you can be a resilient leader in your life. So follow those steps I've said so far. With children going back to school in September, how can we support children returning to an environment that has changed and can be anxiety provoking? You know, these things that I'm just showing you now, you need to be showing them to your children. You know, we need to be showing, and already children are being taught these at school anyway, but more and more we should be showing these to our children, how to meditate, how to do a breathing technique. The more children can do that, the more they can manage themselves. In fact, it's good for them because there's so much more distraction, because we have iPhones and all these other iPads and all sorts of things. Showing them how to do meditation, showing them how to do meditation and breathing is extremely powerful. Do you think that there are some positive aspects that have come out as a result of COVID-19? Well, yes, I think, you know, absolutely. I feel that this has been a time for us to actually take time and take stock of all of ourselves, take inner reflection for ourselves, but the whole world as a whole world. You know, take time to really take care of ourselves, to take care of what's important. I mean, human beings are important, right? We are having a fight against a virus, you know, absolutely. I think that you can always come up with always something positive from any situation. And I would say that, you know, it's taking the time to, a lot of people had time to spend time with their families that they've never been able to do that. We've able to think about, think outside the box of how we can still do events and work and do things. And people are working from home. They're doing Zoom. I mean, Zoom's done very well, right? And so there's different ways to do work. We've had to think outside the box. And hasn't that been outside our comfort zone? That's one positive way of thinking of it. Okay, I'm suffering from depression. I feel isolated from the world around me. What shall I do? I highly suggest that you practice these techniques that I highly suggest. And I would highly suggest that you speak to somebody, reach out to myself, reach out to the team here at Jasur, because that's where we're here to help. And you should not feel that you're alone or feel isolated. Please get in touch with us, get in touch with the team here at Jasur, and please, so we can happy to help you. After following your valuable tips and advice, at what stage would one feel hopeless before sorting medical help? I think you should be talking to somebody right now and working through that, and using these tips as well, but reaching out to somebody as well. These tips will work relatively quickly, but I was still saying that it would be good to work with somebody and help you and support you through this. Let me just quickly finish off my slide presentation. So the power of gratitude. You know, what we also feel is extremely, extremely important is to be grateful. So we may be facing challenges right now. We may be facing things that we was completely out of our hands, but at the same time, we can definitely be creating a list of things that we could be grateful for. We could be grateful for the health that we have. We could be grateful for the roof over our heads. We could be grateful for the food that we have. We could be grateful for whatever it is. But I would strongly suggest, the other thing that I suggest is that we all have a gratitude list. Write a gratitude in the morning of 5 things to 10 things in the morning, and also do it before you go to sleep. And it's extremely powerful. It shifts the energy from where you may be feeling anxious or have fearful, and moving into this deep level of peace and calmness again. So please, another thing, so the green juices, the exercise, the breathing techniques, fundamental, the meditation, and the gratitude list is extremely, extremely powerful as well. And also, finally, and I kind of implore to you, this is so important to do, is creative visualization. It's a guided meditation. I have a recording I've created already to remain calm, relaxed as well. But, you know, it's so powerful, so powerful that we visualize our reality. There's been so many studies. There have been so many studies of people visualizing things and creating that. I mean, you know, extremely successful people. You've got Jim Carrey, you have billionaires. People have said they've always visualized what their outcome was going to be, and they've achieved it in their life. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a billionaire. It doesn't have to be, you have to be a movie star. There's nothing like that. It's about the mind that does not know the difference between the reality of you doing something or you actually doing it just in your mind. There's been many studies from Harvard. There's many studies at lots of other universities. And Dr. Joe Dispenza has done these studies as well, where they had 4 groups doing a piano, playing the piano. One group was actually practicing the piano for 2 weeks to learn the keys. Another group was just imagining they were learning to play the piano. They were pretending, they didn't use a piano, but they pretended to use their fingers on a piano to visualize what they were doing, or visualizing it all. Another group were doing another way of doing it, or they didn't practice at all. And the difference between the results came in that the people who actually practiced the piano and the people who imagined they practiced the piano but never touched the piano got the same results. And that's just one study. I mean, there's so many studies. Other people who've just practiced, you know, throwing a basketball through a hoop, where there's a group of people who've done that physically, and there's another group of people who just pretended they were doing it, just visualizing it, doing it perfectly, doing perfectly. And when they actually measure the results were exactly the same. When I used to go running in London, I'm from London, I used to go running every Sunday. I used to visualize, I used to go for a run before I used to go for my actual run. And my body would actually imagine that I'd already done the run. So when I actually did the run, when I used to go running, the body just assumed that, oh, well, she's already done this run, so this run is going to be easy. When I was jogging and exercising, it made it much more easy to do. So my body wasn't resisting it. So it's really, really important that you create a new visualization. Let's move away from any visualization that has to do with you getting sick or, you know, any catastrophe happening in your life. Let's move away from that. Let's focus on now that life is moving into normality. The fact that you're actually creating a new focus on your life. The fact that you can focus on a goal that you may have that you want to achieve in the next 5 months. Whether it's weight loss, whether it's making sure that you're a strong, resilient leader and doing that. So visualize that. Visualize being a strong, resilient leader and focus on that. Even if it's 5 minutes a day, you can actually focus on that and just seeing yourself. Just even if, let's just do 2 minutes here before, you know, 3 minutes. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths in. And take a few deep breaths out. Take a deep breath in. And take a deep breath out. And take a deep breath in. And take a deep breath out. And just close your eyes and think of you feeling strong. Feel a beautiful light, white light all around your body. And feel that every single cell in that body is feeling strong, It's feeling robust. It's feeling empowered. It's feeling able to challenge through anything. It's feeling so strong, it's standing tall, and it's holding its arms out like Superman or Wonder Woman, and feeling so empowered. Feel that throughout the whole of your body. Feel the energy as you breathe in, as you breathe out, as you breathe in and out, feeling calm, feeling relaxed, feeling totally at peace. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, as you breathe in and out, and feel that beautiful white light throughout the whole body and every single cell saying, we are resilient, we are empowered, we are resilient, we are strong and empowered. And feel that throughout the whole body, that strength, the empowerment, that joy, that excitement. Feel the empowerment and strength within your chest, in your mind, and every single cell in your body as you breathe in and as you breathe out. As you breathe in and out, feeling calm, feeling relaxed, feeling totally at peace. And it feels so good to feel so calm, feel so strong, feel so resilient, feel so empowered, knowing that you can achieve anything you want. You can smash through those challenges and overcome anything. Feel the electric energy throughout the whole body of that resilience, of that strength, of the energy. Feeling empowered as you breathe in and as you breathe out. As you breathe in and as you breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out, and then come out of that. Feel that strength. Feel that empowerment. And that is a way of continuing to feel strong within yourself as well. Now, obviously, anything else, I've talked about everything else, the creative visualization as well. And also I suggest you keep yourself ticking over, watch these videos, personal development videos. Some of the ones I would envisage that you should be going is Impact Theory by Tim Bilyeu. He does lots of interviews of people overcoming things. School of Greatness by Lewis Howe is very good. And David Goggins is a phenomenal guy who's overcome challenges in his life and is very strong. And some of these videos will really empower you as well and feel strong. So really, I've taken, we're nearly now to the end of it. But let me just answer some of these questions before are asked to stop. But let me just quickly answer these questions. So, what does it mean to have a sense of meaning? How does it affect the course of my life and meaning? It's your purpose. What does it mean to you? What do you want to do in this life? What do you want to achieve? My life is about impact, is making a difference in people's lives and making transformations. I eat, breathe, sleep that. What is it that you want to do in your life? So tap into your intuition, tap into your little voice. You'll be able to get some of those answers. I've developed a screen and social media addiction during the past few months, leaving me feeling lonely and depressed. What steps can I take to wean off and go back to normal? Yes, I think that's, thank you for admitting that. I think doing some of the techniques, the breathing technique, the meditation technique is actually going to wean you off that. Also, I suggest that you understand what's your big why. Obviously, the addiction is because it's a symptom of something else. And you're saying that you're feeling lonely because you're on your own. That was the way you were managing it yourself. So now that things are opening up, reach out to your friends, reach out to family. And so you can slowly start limiting the time. Start doing the things that I've shown you here, the breathing technique, the meditation. Learn to start controlling your mind, and slowly you can slowly start winning off them. Reach out to me. I'm sure I can actually DM me. I'm happy to ask and answer any other questions as well. Every time I try to meditate, I tend to lose focus and think about my stress and issues. How can I control my thoughts and achieve a successful meditation? That's the whole point. So obviously when you're meditating and you all lose focus, you have to bring back your thought, realign your thoughts again. So your mind is always going to play like that. It's going to have that monkey brain. So you have to say, like, if you're meditating and then before you know it, you're off somewhere else. So you take a deep breath in and you just realign yourself again to that white space, that white blank sheet. Just refocus and let go. Focus on what you want to achieve. Focus on the white space and let go of that stress, let go of those issues. The more you do that, the more you're going to release and break that chain, that connection with the stress and the issues. This pandemic took away my 2020 goals, and I feel it hard to go back and work on my goals to achieve them. And the most important goal was to have a job at the end of the year. But now I feel it impossible. How can I get to my goals list again? Yeah, look, everyone's goals changed, but look, you need to make sure that you get back onto it again. And never, never, never just say because make the pandemic an excuse. Yes, there are people, have lost their jobs, but it could be an opportunity to find something different. It may be an opportunity they are facing that they now are looking to set up a business they never had the opportunity to do before. This is the opportunity to actually create something new in your life, something that you never thought you could do before. This is your opportunity. Sometimes when we're working, we are fearful of, we don't lose our pay packet and things like that. But the thing is that now we've been faced with so many fears that if we don't learn to do something right now to achieve our goals, dreams, and ambitions, then when are we going to do it? So if you have a burning desire to achieve a business or something that you want to do, something of your hobby that you want to turn into business, do it now. This is the opportunity to do that. Refocus on your refocus on your goals. Pick one goal, start doing that. Could be a health goal. Start with doing a health goal, because a health goal is always good to refocus yourself, and that could be the foundation to start working on your other goals as well. And as I said, even if it was a work goal, it may not be the work goal that you want now, but there'll be something you can do. Never think that COVID or anything, adversity is not going to allow you to get the job you want. When it's meant to happen, you always make sure that you're always ready no matter what, because people, even in pandemics and recessions and all sorts of things, get their dream job. So don't underestimate that. Okay, so I think, and one more question, I think Sally's going to come in and we'll wrap up soon, but let me just quickly answer these questions before Sally comes in. I've read a lot about the law of attraction. Do you believe it has an effect on our lives? Does it work in the case of trying to be positive? Absolutely. Law of attraction, we have to vibrate higher level. We have to come from a place of love and a kindness always. That's the highest vibration, and for ourselves and for everyone else. And we're constantly thinking good thoughts and stuff. That's, the more we think that good things are going to come to us, but we also have to take action. So if we want to lose 10 pounds, we just don't think the law of attraction is going to give us help us lose the 10 pounds. You obviously put that out, but you also have to put the action in. Anything that you're going to do, law of attraction is going to be there. It means about you vibrating a high level, thinking positive thoughts, feeling positive and in high vibration, but at the same time you have to put in the action as well. Okay, the final question is Vinod, you say I'm 75 years old and healthy. Any special advice? I think no. I think it's a mashallah that you are 75 and healthy. Mashallah. Tell us your secrets. Yeah, tell us your secrets, and we can share them. So no special advice. I think it's just you should be sharing with us. Okay. Okay. So I think that's it. It's been wonderful talking to you. Again, if obviously there's been about Jasur, if you need to reach out, if you're suffering from any mental health, please reach out to Jasur. Please reach out to the phone number. Let me just read out the phone number that I had here, so that you could. It's called Hope, but it's a mental support line, which is 800 and 4673. Please reach out. We are here to help you. The team here is here to help you. And no one should be alone. Some people have mentioned they've been on their own. Please reach out and speak to one of our colleagues and things, because it's very, very important. No one should be felt alone. We're all here to support each other at a time of this. But please implement some of these things. Extremely, extremely powerful. I can't stress enough how powerful they are. I hope this has been of use. And I hope to see you again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Samira, for the lovely session. And thank you to all the attendees for attending. And we hope that it was as beneficial to you as it was me. I learned a lot of new tips and tricks, especially the green juice. That's something I'm going to start trying out.
Yes, good.
Yeah, and if you'd like more information, please visit www.volunteers.ae/Jusur, and we have weekly sessions running every Monday and Wednesday. Next week's focus will be on post-traumatic stress disorder. So please feel free to tune in and share with family and friends who might benefit from the session. And once again, Samira, thank you so much for your valuable time and shedding light on mental health and how to gain a sense back to returning back to our normal lives. I personally really enjoyed it. So thank you once again, and have you on board.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.